I'm Christy Duffy for Smart Trend News. Intel CEO Paul Otellini says revenue and earnings from the world's largest chipmaker will be double this quarter. Intel reports its second quarter earnings in a couple weeks on July 13th. Intel's first quarter net income soared 288% from first quarter 2009 to $2.4 billion, beating its $2.13 billion estimate. Revenue for the quarter rose 44% to $10.3 billion. The company projected its revenue for second quarter at $10.2 billion, which would be up 27% year over year. Looking ahead at what can be expected from Intel's earnings release in 2 weeks, with me to speak about it is Adam Benjamin, Managing Director of Semiconductor Equity Research for Jefferies and Company. Adam, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
What are your projections for Intel's second quarter report?
So basically, we're looking for the June quarter about $10.4 billion. That's up sequentially a little over 1%, with earnings of about 43 cents, which is roughly in line with where street estimates are, about 10.2 and 43 cents.
So you do think that they're going to meet their $10.2 billion goal in revenue?
Yeah, we basically think the quarter was tracking in line for most of the quarter. There were some issues in terms of PCs and some slowing seasonal that happened in late April and early May. Especially what happened in Europe has caused some angst in terms of sell-through and what's going on with the supply chain. But I do think they came in line with their guidance for the June quarter. Really what's up for debate is the September quarter, and that's historically a very seasonal back-to-school and holiday build. It's usually up high single digits sequentially. Right now, it's a little too early to tell definitively. As you said, they're not reporting for another 3 weeks, and things are very much in flux in terms of the supply chain. But we do think there will be lower than normal seasonal growth here into Q3, given some of the softness that we're seeing. However, we do think there's a very good chance they can get to street estimates, which are expecting roughly about a $10.9 billion or roughly 5% sequential growth.
So would you cite that slowdown solely to a PC or a slowing demand in PC and perhaps consumer electronics overall? Would that be the only reason?
Well, there's definitely been some slowing. I mean, the hard thing to figure out is whether this is just normal seasonal or it's the beginning of some global economy slowdowns. Typically, you do see some gyrations in the supply chain in late April, early May, and into June, as it's kind of a soft period ahead of that holiday build, which really starts in earnest into late July and really into August ahead of that seasonal period. So really hard to tell. Obviously, there's been a lot of cross currents in the market, as you know, as it relates to what's going on in Europe. And really, we haven't seen any tremendous softening in terms of demand, and that's really where our focus has been in terms of our research. We did a fair amount of work on this about a month ago in terms of softness for sell-through for PC specifically in Europe, and things are a little soft there, and retailers are a little frozen in terms of buying product with the euro kind of in free fall. Things have stabilized a bit since then, and some people are looking at sort of back-end loaded quarters for the June quarter, with the month of June looking to be a little bit more heavily weighted versus historical quarters. But things are holding up relatively decently in terms of demand from what we're seeing so far. As it relates to the holiday build, there's a good chance that people take more of a cautious view into it. Obviously, the news out there, across U.S. and Europe and China, which is slowing a little bit, is definitely giving some pause.
Well, hopefully, I mean, we did see the consumer confidence numbers come out earlier this morning, which really dropped much further than was expected. So hopefully that trend will not continue into these important later quarters for Intel. But we'll have to just wait and see. So thank you so much, Adam, for your insight on Intel stock this afternoon. Adam Benjamin from Jefferies and Company. We will report back again in a couple weeks on Intel's earnings release, which again is due out July 13th. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, Trade the Trend, so as not to miss out.